right, this is journal page 29, and we are still looking at slope. But we're going to look at slope from 2 points. From 2 points. So they'll give us 2 coordinates, such as 0, -2, and you want to leave a line above this because we're going to be writing something above it, and 3, 7. So we're going to come over here and we're going to do what I like to call a little think bubble. That our coordinates, this is our little think bubble. Our coordinates are x, y. Okay? So I'm going to come above each of these and I'm going to write, and I'm not going to write very big, but I'm going to write x and y. X and y. And then I'm going to say, okay, this is my first point. So I'm going to put little 1s after them because that's my 1. Come to my second, and I'm going to put little 2s because they're the second points. Alright? So to actually find the slope from this, we need a formula. So we're going to do y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now, yesterday when we looked at the mathematics chart, this is what was written on that mathematics chart. And now we're just going to play a little activity, plug it in. So we have our y2, so I'm going to put that. And then I'm going to put subtract, and then I'm going to plug in my y1, which was a -2. So I'm going to put it in parentheses, -2. Put my line. My x2 was 3. Subtract x1, which was 0. So I'm going to subtract these. So 7 minus a -2, so I'm going to add a line, change the sign, is 7 plus 2, which is 9. 9 over 3. So my slope equals 3. Let's look at another example. 0, 3, and 4, 5. So we start by labeling x, y, x, y. I'm going to label this. This is my first point. This is my second point. I'm going to give you a little hint. It doesn't matter which point you say is your 1 and your 2. As long as, so if I say this is my 2, then it should be x2, y2. And then this would be x1, y2, y1. It doesn't really matter which one you choose as your first point, second point. But out of habit, I always choose the first one. So we're going to do y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. Now, I always have some students who have trouble with this plugging in. So I'm going to show you another way to do it. So I'm going to write it lightly. And you need an eraser on your pencil. So hopefully you have an eraser on your pencil. Hopefully you're using a pencil because we are still in math class. We don't use pens. Okay, so my y2 point was a 5. So I'm going to erase that y2. And I'm going to put a 5. Okay, have my subtraction. Then I'm going to go to my y1, which is a 3. So I'm going to erase my y1 and put a 3. Then I have an x2, which is 4. So I'm going to erase that x2 and put a 4. And an x1, which is 0. So erase the to 0. 5 minus 3 is 2. 4 minus 0 is 4. 2/4 can be simplified to 1/2. So my slope is 1/2. So this is if I were to plot 2 points on a line. Now graph. Now I can plot these on a graph and see that it's going to work. I don't have any blank graphs to show that, but if I plot these 2 points, I can then do my rise and run and find that it's still going to be 1/2. Let's look at another example. 1, 6. And 3, 20. So my formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I'm going to come up here and label x, y, x, y. This is my first point. This is my second point. So I'll plug it in. My y2 is 20. My y1 is 6. y2 is 3 minus my x1, which is 1. 20 minus 6 is 14. 3 minus 1 is 2. So my slope equals 7. Sorry, went off the screen. We're going to put one more on the right side, and then we're going to go to the left side and practice some. Alright, so our next example is 3, 3, and 9, 7. My formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Label my points, x, y, x, y. This is my 1. This is my 2. Alright, so my y2 was a 7 minus my y1, which is a 3. My x2 is a 9 minus my x1, which is a 3. 7 minus 3 is 4. 9 minus 3 is 6. My slope, that 4 6 can be divided both top and bottom by 2, so my slope is 2/3. Now so far, all of those have been positive slopes. Did not plan that on purpose. It's just how the numbers worked out. Alright, so now we're going to slide to the left of page 29. Alright. Alright. So we're going to look at another example. Let's do 5, 3. Alright, so my formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. My next step is to label my points, xy, xy. Both of these are 1s, both of these are 2s. So my y2 is a 3 minus my y1, which is a 8. x2 is 5 minus my x1, which is 1. 3 minus 8. Now, I always have students who say, 5, it's 5. But think of it this way. We have 3, And we're going to take away 8. Take away 1, take away 2, take away 3. I'm going to have to go in negatives for the rest. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So my answer is negative 5. 5 minus 4 is 4. My slope is negative 5/4. Alright, our next two examples are kind of unique examples. So we have 6, 5 and 8, 5. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So x, y, x, y. First, second. Alright, so when I do my y2, which is 5, minus my y1, which is 5, and x2, which is 8, minus x1, which is 6, I get 0 over 2. So I have a 0. So what I'm going to do is, we're going to pull up a calculator and see what happens when we type that in the calculator. Okay, so I'm going to shrink this down real quick so we can get to our calculator. Okay, there's our calculator. And so I'm going to do 0 divided by 2. And I get 0. So this has a slope of 0. And if we remember from our slope lesson on graphs the other day on page 27, a 0 slope is a horizontal line. So I'm going to actually put under that, I'm going to draw that just so we can remember that. So some of you might have been able to guess where we're going to go with this next. Some of you may not. That's okay. So if I have 3, 5, and 3, 9, so this time we'll have duplicate x's. So x1, y1, x2, y2. Sorry, I guess I can move the calculator out of the way. Sorry about that, guys. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. y2 is 9. y1 is 5. x2 is 3. And x1 is 3. So I have 4 divided by 0. So I can see that this is different. Okay. This one had 0 on top, while this one has 0 on bottom. So I'm going to bring over my calculator again. And let's do 4 divided by 0. I cannot divide by 0. That is true. So I want you to think about this. If I have 0 cookies and I divide those 0 cookies by 2 people, each of them is going to get 0 cookies. If I have 4 cookies and I divide it by 0 people, well, that doesn't make sense because there's nobody to divide it. So this is actually undefined, which is going to be a vertical line. All right. So those are our 2 special cases. All right, I'm going to give you one to try by yourself now. I'm going to make my screen bigger again. Sorry, I think that's easier for y'all to see. This will be our last one to do in our notes. All right, I want you to go ahead and try this one by yourself. So I want you to pause the video, and when you have completed it, I want you to push play. All right, hopefully you paused it and you waited to push play. So I'm going to go ahead and label my points. And then I'm going to take my formula. Plug it in. So 2 minus 4 over 7 minus -3. And I'm going to put that -3 in parentheses. Okay? This is where most people mess up, is with the negatives. 2 minus 4 is -2. Add a line, change the sign. 7 plus 3 is 10. So my slope, that can be simplified to -1/5. All right. As always, if you have any questions about finding slope, whether it is from points or from the table or from the graph, please email me and let me know. I want you to understand that if you have questions, that's perfectly fine. Your parents all have my phone number also. You are welcome to text questions if that's what you feel more comfortable with. That's perfectly fine. Tomorrow, for the next couple days, we're going to work on putting all of this together and work on putting it all together and going from tables to graphs and things like that. All right. Y'all have a blessed day, and you'll hear from me tomorrow.